Okay, so today I'm going to be going over the Conquest 4.2 tier list and the patch, King of the Kappa. Okay, where to begin here? Alright, let's start off with King Kappa, or Kuzenbo. We'll start off with his passive, Water Bowl. Each time Kuzenbo takes 2% of his maximum health worth of damage, pre-mitigation, he's granted a stack of 1.5% damage reduction, and as the bowl of water atop his head fills, max 10 stacks. So that gives you a total of 15%, right? Yeah. No. Yeah, that's right. 15% damage reduction at the end of that.
10 times 2 is 12, is 20.
What? No, 1.5
1.5
times 10.
You said 2.
2% of his maximum health worth of damage. Stacks last 10 seconds and are refreshed each time he gains another. When he's knocked up, knocked back, grabbed, pulled, banished, or otherwise disrupted, the bowl loses half of its stacks until he begins to fill it again. So almost when he's hit with a hard CC, I believe. I feel like that would have been better worded instead of, what have you. But that's whatever. Reduction lost when disrupted, 5%. Duration, 10 seconds. So I don't really have many thoughts on this. This is an okay passive. It's not going to be great, but I don't think it's going to be terrible. Nene Kappa. Kuzenbo summons and throws the powerful Nene Kappa, who can ricochet off walls after firing. If the Nene Kappa bounces off the wall, it will travel 70 units from that point up to a maximum of 2 bounces, so it's like Huyi Ricochet. If an enemy god is hit by Nene Kappa, it will burst forth from its shell and attack them. And the cooldown on that is 16 seconds. The damage is scaling, so you go 70 to 105, to 140 to 210 at max rank, plus 55% of your magical power. And Kappa damage per hit, I'm assuming this is on the bounce, because it hits when bounce, as at 65 at max rank. So I don't see this being an amazing ability. I don't see it being a bad ability. Although this is the damage per hit he does, I believe, just in general. And then this must be the damage per bounce, I'm assuming here. I don't see this being, like, wave clear, obviously, all that great. I don't think that this is going to really benefit as much. It doesn't really have any CC there. So it's not really going to be something that's... I mean, I guess it could be used to help push wave. But even then, I don't see it being all that effective. Now, if you get a triple bounce with him, like kind of like a Huyi bounce, I mean, I could see it doing alright. But for now, it doesn't seem amazing, but I'm not going to downplay it entirely till I actually see it and play with it. Moving on to Shell Spikes. The spikes on Kuzenbo's shell extend out, reflecting a percentage of the damage enemies deal to Kuzenbo back at them. So it's like Shield of the Underworld, basically. While active, each time Kuzenbo takes damage, the cooldown on Nene Kappa is reduced. Cost is 70 mana, and it's 12 seconds at max rank. Okay. Reflect damage taken 40%. Wow, that is good at max rank, I'd say. I mean, I could see a lot of people building some damage reflection on him, but that I don't know, this ability just sounds really, this kit just doesn't seem to work well together. It seems, I don't know, we'll see when we get to the next abilities, but it just doesn't seem all that great. Anyway, cooldown reduced per hit, 0.6 seconds, so, it's not going to do a whole lot. If we look at the Nene Kappa, where's the cooldown? 16 seconds, so, I mean, it's not bad, I suppose. If you get hit a lot, like with a damage over time effect, I could see this being actually beneficial. So cooldown 16 seconds. Let's see, it's about half a second, roughly half a second each hit. Get hit twice, it's already down a second. So you have to get hit quite a bit for that to be any significant. cooldown on that. Obviously, cooldowns will change if you build cooldowns on him, but I'm not going into that. This is just base. Crucible charges forward, immune to slows and roots. Okay, that's pretty good right there so far. Damaging enemy minions and using his immense strength to push the first enemy god along, or he hits along with him. Each subsequent god he hits deals damage to both that god and the god Kuzumbo is pushing. Colliding with a wall will also deal damage to the pushed god. So this is a good thing if there's a bunch of people lined up, I guess. It doesn't say the range or how far you push them. So I'm gonna probably assume maybe the length of Erlong's turtle form. That's my rough guess. But the damage per hit is 185 plus 35% of magic power. That's decent. I mean, that's like, up here. I mean, this is a lot more. So this could do good damage later on. This one I don't think is going to do a whole lot of damage. I think it's mainly just there for the CC. And that CC is going to be really good. I think if, does it say each of those can god them? Okay, so can they just jump out? Because it seems like, so if there's a god with no escape, this is going to be great. But if there's a god with an escape, they can just jump away. I think that's what I'm understanding here. Because there's no other CC with it. It's just you push them. Now, I think it might be like tier push. Tier kind of pushes, but I'm wondering if there's a silence or something with that. Because on its own, that just seems pretty bad. I don't know why they would have that there. Onto the ult. Kuzumbo pulls himself inwards under his shell and spins, summoning a fierce currents that knock enemies back. And hold up, I am loading up YouTube so I can see your guys' comments here. Just give me one moment, everyone. Okay. And increases movement speed and allow him to move freely in all directions. So does that mean that he doesn't have movement slow penalties on backpedaling? I'm assuming that's what that means. I don't know until I actually play with it. I wish I'd be a little bit more specific. I'm assuming that means that he doesn't have any movement penalties. Damage after the first spin is reduced by 50%. Cost 100. Cooldown 100 seconds. So there's a radius around you, and you spin, and you gain movement speed. Doesn't say how much movement speed does it. No, it does at the bottom, 35%. And so you knock people back. You just keep knocking people back. And does it say the duration? Don't see the duration, so I don't know the duration of it. It could just be a single cast, but no, it says spins. So assuming that there's multiple spins to it. But anyway, so this damage is on the first hit. It's 220 plus 40% of your magical power at max rank. And then you have the damage per hit, which is at 110 plus 20% of your magical power at max rank. That's a half, and that's the half. That's on the other spins. So not too bad, but not great. Your movement speed increase 35%, whatever. New skins, don't really care. A couple new mastery skins, whatever. Kuzumbo Clap, yeah, Jingwei Dance. Updated lobby description for Clash, don't care. Players only seen, don't care. Don't care. Players have been enjoying the new Clash Maps artwork gameplay, but we received feedback from that the new XP spooling, jungle buff strength, and low base health of the monsters made level rate too fast and caused the map to snowball. We are making some adjustments to help alleviate these two of those concerns, but we are holding off on adjusting XP spooling changes for now. We still feel XP spooling is a positive change as it was added to help keep teams more even by keeping levels closer. How the pace of the game feels after these changes will help us decide if flooring XP spooling is needed. This needed to happen. Apophis was way too easy to kill. His health was so low. I'm glad this change came in. I think this definitely needed to happen. He was so weak for the buff he provided. And I think this is great. Mana buff enhanced. They reduced how good the mana buff is in the late game.
Hello, my friends. Pretty much full health.
Which is good. It needed to happen. The reduction of the mana buff in the late game is going to help out a absolute crap ton. Yeah, so I think that's going to be good. I mean, I think it was doing a little bit too much, but I think this reduction could help move some things around. Damage buff increased respawn time from 90 to 120 seconds. So it's going to make it so that you get less time with the regular mana or the regular damage buff until Apophis appears, which I think is okay. I think that's perfectly fine. I think a lot of these changes are good. Shadow of Apophis, normal Apophis buff, reduced magical power gain from 70 to 50, reduced physical power. So big nerfs to Apophis in this. Not only is he getting his health increased, well, not. This is reducing the stuff you get from Apophis, and this is making him harder to kill, which I think actually did need to happen because I think it was really strong. But yeah, big nerfs to the Apophis buff and big buff to Apophis health. Excuse me, but the buff to his health really did need to happen. Phoenix, they increased the power on the Phoenix from 30 to 42. That is fine. Phoenix felt pretty weak actually. And then Conquest side, whatever. Anyway, okay. Item changes. This tree, I don't really care. That's fine. This is fine. Poison Star. Now, here's the thing. Like, what they should have probably done, right? Because no one's gonna probably. I don't think anyone's really gonna pick this up much anymore. They might. I don't know. I'll have to see how it is after the patch. But what they could have just done is reduce the physical power. Kept the gold the same. Don't need to increase it. Just reduce the physical power. See how it is then. I don't know if people are going to buy it after this, because it's so low on the physical power. I mean, yes, it was great for early crit, but, it's just, I don't know. No, this doesn't seem to appeal. Oh boy, and it got changes. First off, Afro. We discovered an issue where Aphrodite has been sharing a lot more mana regen with her kiss than her description says she does. She's been performing at a solid spot, and reducing this effect on that players have been using would be a large nerf. We instead have decided to update the tool to not correct the value. So basically what Hyra's is saying is, we messed up. We messed up big. But we don't care because why not? So let's see what they messed up on. Updated description of the ability to correctly indicate that Aphrodite shares 70% of all mana regenerated. Not 30. How do you mess up how... I don't understand how you mess up something that big. She was sharing 70%. 70. Or was it 30? That's 40% more. Like, are you... like, are you kidding me, guys? I'm not going to go into further detail on that. It's dumb on Hyra's part. I don't mind that they kept it there, but come on, guys. Alright. Chiron. Chiron has been struggling to compete with other ability-based hunters. Yes, he has. Please upgrade or buff the healing on him, because it needs to happen. Chiron can fire basic attacks while using Giddy Up, which will now hit a lot harder, rewarding Chiron for using this ability aggressively. Okay. Centaurus will also do more damage to help him secure kills. These two changes combined should give Chiron a little extra kick to bear compete with other hunters. This is stupid. And I'm going to say why. This is fine. So, with Chiron, and things I've played with him, at least, you're not going to be wanting to use Giddy Up to engage. I mean, yes, you can use it to chase down, but you're not going to want to use it usually to be aggressive. That means that you are absolutely screwed if you get caught out. And it's going to make Chiron players a lot more risky. And you see that power buff is only for the duration of the charge. That's not very so if you cancel the charge, that power buff's gone. Like that. So, I don't think this was a good change. I think what they should have done is focused on his healing aspects. I think that would have helped him a bit more, but also make Centaurus hit harder. Obviously, like, keep that. But I would say just make changes to his passive, make it a little bit stronger. I don't want to see it broken, but maybe give it so that it scales maybe into the late game better. I don't know, but right now I think they did a weird change, which I don't know how. We'll see how it turns out. I don't think it'll turn out all that great, and they made a good change, which I think will turn out good. In overall for Chiron, I think it's a good change, and I think that overall this should help him out better. Oh boy, we get to Kronos. Okay, this is probably going to be a big one, so I'm getting ready here. The results of Kronos' adjustments in the Season 4 patch prove that he needs some additional changes to reach a good point of balance. They removed his Fatalis effect, is what they're talking about. With his boxing potential brought down, we began to exploring other ways to empower his kit regardless of his item build. The first thing we wanted to improve was the way Accelerate feels, so it now provides much more movement speed. Okay. Kronos also could use some additional damage in his kit since he needs to make the choice between basic attack builds or pure mage builds. Stop Time has more base damage to help Kronos clear, and Wheel of Time now provides better late game scaling on both basic attacks and ability damage. Okay. Wheel of Time, so I just pass it. Increased magical power section 3 buff from 20 to 25%. Okay. Increased basic attack power of section 4 buff from 35 to 45%. So basically they're just giving him better magical power, or better scale, or I guess not scaling. I guess they're giving him his passive is getting buffed, which with the nerf, I feel like this is a good change. With him no longer having this Fatalis effect, he's not moving nearly as fast. He can't, his autos aren't going to be hitting as nearly as fast. Good change, I think, overall. Okay, Accelerate. Increased movement speed from 20% initial plus the whatever blah, 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 to 25% plus whatever this is. So let me see here. So late game, so it's 45. So it's late game, it's 45%. So I just added 5%. Movement speed. Wait, early game. Oh no, his early game has been affected. Okay, so his early game is better with Accelerate. He benefits more in his early game. Actually, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. What did they? Oh, yeah. His early game is going to benefit a lot more. So instead of this, they just added more. Okay. So instead of the 4 and the 8, you just go straight to 12, which, I mean, that's pretty damn good. And I think that's going to help him quite a bit. Increased damage on this by 10. Not going to do a whole lot. Kind of useless. Okay, to victory. Nike here. Has a powerful effect. To victory has a powerful effect on any given match. We're toning it down to limit its impact. Thank you. Especially in the late game. Thank you. Additionally, Rend is seeing a cooldown increase, which should open up a longer window during the laning phase to fight Nike while Rend is down. These changes are good. Both of these. I think they are really good changes. This need to happen. The benefits she was giving to her team, just ridiculous. And this is going to tone them down, and I like that. Right? It's not much, but it's good. Okay. We'll just go full screen here, just for the last little bit here, since I didn't realize I was not in full screen. Okay. Scotty. In Season 4, we made changes to reduce some of the frustration Calder presents to Scotty's opponents while increasing her movement speed through Permafrost. After seeing how this has played out, we are giving Permafrost an additional effect. Permafrost's movement speed now persists for 3 seconds after leaving the circle, helping Scotty keep distance between her and her opponents. This is good. I like it, but I don't like Scotty. I think she's way too easy to play, in my opinion. Yeah, your dog is doing all the work for you. I don't like that. That's just a personal opinion. I don't think she's performing very well right now, but I will see how this does. It's more of an escape potential for her. No idea. I mean, I have no clue what this is going to do. I don't know if she's going to be better because of it or worse. No clue. So, Sylvanas. People are saying he's S+. Plus. We're going to see if this affects him anything. They're just talking about that. You... High res. You want... Okay. Yeah, let's nerf Sylvanas, but we're only going to take 3 power. That's like nothing. I don't understand. That's nothing. Why? I don't know. Okay. Okay, you know what? No, moving on. Power cleave. Tier. Yeah, I know. Yeah, whatever. Defensive stance. No longer heals twice on first target hit. Ability caps now at 3 heals. So it used to be 5, I believe. Now it's at 3. It's gonna hurt his laning phase quite a bit. Well, I would say more hurts his sustain. Yeah, I would say it just hurts his sustain really, but I think he'll still be good regardless. Okay, Xingtian, just a few incorrect numbers. Okay, fixed issue where rank 5 was dealing 4% of its target's maximum health per tick instead of 3. I think that's fine where it was at. I don't know why they nerfed the Furious Roar. I thought that was fine. I don't think it was doing any like ridiculous amounts of damage. I think if they had left it at 4%, they would have been fine. Why don't they do the Aphrodite treatment? Oh yeah, we messed up, but you know, we'll just keep it the same way. Whatever. Fix an issue where rank 2 of this ability is dealing AG damage, say listed 85. That's getting technical buff. Ability where provide more protection than intended. I don't... Whatever, I think it was fine where he was at. Fix the issue where this ability to grab targets longer than intended. I never noticed anything, but that's good work. Okay, that was the patch notes, I guess. I was expecting a bit more. I was expecting maybe some more changes because they're this early in the season. But whatever. Okay, moving on to tier list. Okay, this is for Conquest Season 4.2, patch 4.2. We looked at someone like... so we'll start off with S tier. We looked at Apollo, a couple of my buddies and I. We still see him at S. His clear is good, and I think just overall he's going to be great in lane. Janice is an S just because of the mobility, the ability to get your team across the map very quickly, and just all the damage he outputs is just ridiculous. Sylvanas, again, he's been up there, and I don't see that this buff or this nerf is useless. He's going to stay there. It's not going to do anything, right? Amaterasu. Definitely still strong. I still see her in lane, or I could still see her being really good. Nike, with the nerf, she was at S before the nerf in 4.2. She's going to be at S- now, just because of that. Sobek, great support right now. I think people should be playing him quite a bit more than they are. He's good against the healers, which healers are decent right now, I would say. They've focused a lot more on in-combat healing rather than out-of-combat healing. Sobek's going to definitely impact that in-combat healing. Tier, when we looked at that nerf, you know what, we still said he's still going to be okay. He's still going to have good sustain, he's going to have good damage, he's just going to be good for just annoying with the pulls and everything. Keep him there. Move on to A+. On her, still good. Just has a lot of good amount of damage, just good ability-based damage. Wheelix, again, we decided she's actually pretty good right now. You don't have to run her with anyone. But going on to the next one, Bacchus, you can run her with Bacchus. It's really good. She works well in combos, but she also works well on her own. That's why we picked her up there. Bacchus, we put an A+. He's been performing well, but he's not going to be picked every game. That's kind of why we put him there. Arachne, with the new Heart Seeker, I believe it was, that item, she's been seeing She hasn't seen much more play, but she's definitely, I feel like she's going to be performing a lot better. Herc in Season 4, I think he's going to be a little bit better than where he was previously. I probably would have put him down in B or A minus, just because, he wasn't played that much, and and he wasn't that effective. With the new changes to his, especially his mitigate wounds, I think he's going to be a good solo laner this season. Freya, she's been really well used in the dual lane, and I think that she is going to be a great player or a great god for people to play. I think she'll be good asset for her team, and overall, I feel like she's just going to be good for everyone. Moving on, Hu Yi, he's just there because he has a lot of ability damage, has good escape, big AOE ult. I think he's good there. Izanami, she's a great pusher. She has a lot of damage. I wouldn't say she's quite on that level of Apollo for pushing and split pushing, but she's definitely pretty close. Jingwei after the nerf, she was an S plus tier. I'm gonna move her down to A plus. She can still perform well, but she's just not gonna be performing to that level she was at previously. The nerf to the passive. Khepri performing really well. New buff. I think he's going to be, and a little bit of a nerf. I think he's still going to be in around that A plus range. Kubakarna, the king of CC, he's going to stay where he's going to stay up here at A plus. I think. He performs well. Mercury with the new early game items. I think he's going to perform better overall. And the new items for him in general. Neja has been performing well, like I said, but she's not going to be picked every game. Same with Nemesis. A lot of these gods, they've been performing well, but they're not going to be picked and banned every single game. Raw, again, with the protections now, I think that just kind of set him at a spot. They reduced some of his healing, but he gets more protections out of it, and I think it's just going to help him stay alive in lane. Rama, he did get with the nerf. He was in like S minus. He's going to go down to A plus, but I still think he can float somewhere between these two. He could probably go into S minus, or he could probably go into A. We'll have to see. Scylla, A plus. She has a lot of damage. She's pretty good in the mid. She can move around a lot. Not bad. Serket, I was kind of thinking about putting her down in A minus, but with the new items to assassins, we're not really sure. I can only assume that she's going to be melting through tanks. I think she's at a good spot right now. So, overall, I didn't see that much of an impact. I saw her in, she was over in S for a while, and I think if with that nerf to her Fatalis ability, and she's definitely going to be put down a bit, and that's why I'm putting her down in A+. I think that's going to nerf her quite a bit, but not enough to put her down into A. Susano, definitely I want to keep him above average. He does a good amount of damage, and if you hit his combos right, you can definitely succeed. Terra, she was going to be up on Sylvanas' level, but her healing has just been reduced. She's just not as effective anymore. So she's going to go down to A+ tier. And you'll see her around, but she's not going to be as effective as she once was. The Morgan, we put in A+, mainly because her health is low, but she's very effective, and she can definitely help out a lot of situations, especially with her ult. She can be any other god, which is if you use it correctly, it can be very effective. And I think we kind of set her there and with in mind that she's more for the jungle. Toth, or Thoth, or however you want to pronounce him, is an A+ with the new changes to his kit. The stun, I think he's at a good spot. Thor has just been that jungler that has always kind of stuck around in that A+ range because he's so versatile. He's just kind of stuck with the meta and ever for a long time. And I think it's just because his kit is just very good, very well made. And I think Hi-Rez should look at that kit for future gods because I think with him it's that right amount of it's simple but it's effective. It also it's a really good god. And I think Thor is just kind of going to stay in this A+ range, A to A+ range for a long time. Ullr is kind of in that range where he can perform well if you do well enough with him. A couple of guys wanted to put him lower. I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt, put him up here, just kind of putting a high skill cap. If you play at him at a high level, I believe that you can do well in a lot of ways, especially with some of the new items. I think he'll perform well. Agni is just kind of center of balance. These guys I'm not really going to touch over because I feel like they're balanced. Chiron, he was at A minus and he was at B. I'm moving it up to A because now I think these new changes might give him a little bit of an oomph. Anyone else? Sun Wukong got his buff. Haven't seen a lot of play with him yet. I'm going to put him in A, see how he is in this new patch, and we're going to go from there. Anyone else I really need to discuss? Not really. These guys are all basically pretty much balanced gods. Afro, I mean, yes, she did get that. She has that 70% mana regen, but that was on there before everyone realized it. So yeah, nothing changed on her. She didn't really get buffed. It's just the description changed. So I'm leaving her at A. Ao Kuang, the main reason I put Ao Kuang this low is because his early game clear is bad. He doesn't get onto the late game, and you kind of need to orient a team around him. Gonna put him at a lower level. Cupid, it falls off hard in late game. I don't think that he's very good in late game. Early game, he's very good and can sustain well through the early game, but just doesn't do well in the late game. He falls off very hard. Erling Shen, again, I don't have a whole lot of practice with solo laners, but from what I've understand, that Erlang Shen and Bellona can be countered in this new meta, and they're just not what they used to be. I put Fenrir at A minus, mainly because I was gonna put him lower, but we decided, he could probably perform well. He's gonna be one of those gods that you're gonna kind of pick in a pocket pick, just kind of surprise the enemy team. And I think because a lot of players, they kind of lock up when they say Fenrir. I think he's at a good point of balance, but not quite to where I could say he's on the level of, say, Agni. Oh, and one of the reasons I put Ares up here, there's a lot of the aura items might benefit him, but I'm not quite ready to put him in anywhere higher. There's a lot of new aura items in Season 4 to kind of help out his passive, but anywhere above this, I'm not ready to put him yet. Guan Yu, he's just not that great right now. I don't see him being all that great in this season, mainly because they kind of nerfed healing a bit. Isis is there. Loki, high damage, but you can deal with him. Odin, very situational. You're going to want to use him against healers. Put him at A minus. You're going to want to form a team. He's a situational pick. Osiris, again, is Osiris. He's situational. You can pick him for certain things and not others. Raijin, he's not that great right now, but you could still work with him. Scotty, same thing there. The buff, I don't think is really going to affect her too much. I think she's just going to stay down there. Thanatos, he's good in certain situations, like Invade, I would say, but other than that, Vulcan, he's not that great. Chibalanke's clear is garbage. I was surprised that they actually didn't change him or do any changes to him this patch. Xingtian, I'm going to leave him there. He's not that great, but he's not bad. Kali, again, she's really late game, but her early game is not the greatest, and mid game is decent. Kabrakan, you can play around with Kabrakan. He's not that difficult to beat. Chang'e is Chang'e. Hades. Hebo has tons of damage, just low mobility. I mean, I guess if you have the scroll, but either way, he can be killed really easily. Medusa, I think the changes to her ult helped her a little bit. She was going to be down here, but she still just doesn't seem to be that great of a hunter right now. Poseidon, he's just not that great in the meta, and Zhongqi can be countered very easily. I was actually considering putting him lower, but I think that the heal gives him a bit better way of staying in lane. AMC, just low mobility, not very good. You can notice there's a little trend here. These three are all low mobility gods. The only reason Opwash wasn't in D is because he just has that lockdown capability. Same with Anubis. I was considering putting these two in D, but I got talked up to C just because they're locked down and damage. Bakasura, just not that great right now, even with the changes to his ult. And Bastet, she falls off super hard. So I think if overall, this just isn't that. Bastet's just not that great. Hell, she got nerfed hard, and I think that Hyra, I don't know what Hyra is thinking. they thought it was a buff, but no, that was a major nerf to hell. And yeah, so she's going to be down in T. I would not play her in Conquest. So there you go. There you guys have it. There's the 4.2 actually, excuse me, patch overview and a little bit of the just a tier list for Conquest. So I want to thank you all for watching. This should be up on YouTube. Sorry I didn't get it before. I had some people come over and I could not get the patch notes live. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my live reaction, but this will hopefully do you guys just as well. So I do want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.